So welcome back, episode 3, or we counted this episode 4.
It's 3.
Okay, 3.
Yeah.
This episode brought to you by Dead Space on the interweb. Welcome to episode 3. Kind of short staff this week. We got me, as always, Stephen James.
It's the Freakin Podcast, Babble-on.
Okay, and
I told you I'm going to do that every time.
Yeah,
so
we're also
not surprised.
Bringing you James.
Hello, I have no idea what I'm doing here.
Cool. Yeah, this is pretty
It's a
much
podcast.
easy.
It's
It's a
I'm
podcast.
aware it's a podcast.
Um,
yes, that I'm aware of.
But yeah, so we're back. Disclaimer, I might be a little out of it. Auburn's playing tonight, and if they win, I'm going to burn everything to the ground. So
It's
we
the
got to
Final
watch
Four.
them.
It's just the
lose.
Final Four, though.
Yeah, but if they win, I'm going to burn everything to the ground.
Who they
'Cause
play?
Virginia. But they can't win anything. But that's beside the point. We're gonna start by doing what we always start with, which is story of the week. Which, for those of you who don't know, is where we just go around and tell a story of our week. So we're gonna. You said you had a good one,
I do.
so we're gonna start with you.
So, I told you I had my story ready. And so, Wednesday, we had a split midweek, so the girls went to the main session in the building. The guys went to the teen room in the upstairs, split up. And Lauren put together this game of manhunt afterwards, right?
Yeah, I couldn't make it. I was asleep.
Yeah, it's okay. So, for those of you that don't know, Manhunt's a game where basically there's hiders and seekers. The seekers get to a central point on the designated map. They count to whatever. We counted to 30. The hiders hide, and then you got to make it back to that central point afterwards. If you make it back to the central point, like the base, then you're safe. If you get caught, you go to jail, etc. And so we played on the horseshoe, and the center statue was base, right? And so I thought I was gonna be smart. It was kind of chilly, so I had a jacket on, I had my long pants on, and so I took my jacket off and hit it. I ran off, took my jacket off, hit it, and then these two people were walking down the bricks. And so I just got in between them, while they were walking their dogs, and I was just act natural, act like I'm part of the group. And so I'm just walking and talking with them, and the guys that were the seekers were oblivious. They had no clue. Evan looked right at me, and had no idea that it was me. And then as soon as I get close enough to the statue where they're not even gonna be close, I break. I took off out from the two. I was like, thank you. And I reached the statue, no problem, on this side. So I was running fast enough to where I touched the statue, but I ran past it because I didn't want to face plant into the statue. And as I run past, Justin Carmichael is running full speed from the other side, and we face-to-face collide, right?
Yeah, neither one of you are small dudes. So.
Neither one of us are extremely small guys. So I immediately, we both go to the ground. We're both rolling over on the bricks. And I tasted blood in my mouth, and I'm like, oh, that's delicious. And so I was like, at least I'm safe, right? And they're all like, yeah, you're safe. So I get on top of I climb on top of the statue, and I take out my camera on my phone, and I highlight it, and I had realized that I had chewed bit a mouthpiece the entire left side of my tongue. There was pieces of it that were just off. And so for the rest of the night, it hurt to talk. For all of yesterday, it hurt to eat. Today, it's pretty much normal. I'm not I went to go shopping for groceries yesterday, and I bought milk for cereal, soup, and applesauce, which is basically what I'm reserved to eating until this thing fully heals. But it's healed to a point where there's a bit that's sticking out. It looks like a giant wart on the back of it, and then there's a cut on the front of it. But once that heals up, it should be fine. But that was interesting because I've never had anything happen to my tongue before.
Yeah.
I remember this old story that someone told about how Eskimos would put pieces of meat on knives, and so wolves would lick knives and
Right.
they like cut their tongue and they bleed out from their tongue. And I was like, I wonder if humans could do that. Am I going to bleed out? Like, I hope I'm not going to die from playing Manhunt.
Yeah, we back when I was in Scouts, when I was younger, we used to, when we went on camping trips, we used to play Manhunt as well. And I remember one time I was probably like 11th or 10th grade, so I don't remember how old I was back then.
Something may have happened, so sorry about that.
So can I? Okay, I'm gonna go back.
Yeah.
So
Continue.
they said no, don't do it. Like we have stuff to do in the morning, and we're like, nah, we're gonna do it anyways. So we pretend to go to sleep, and then we sneak out of the tents at like 2 a.m. and we go play Manhunt, and it was really fun. Like the best game of Manhunt we've ever played. I don't like remember anything specific that happened, but we came back at like 4 a.m. We're like feeling really slick, like we got away with everything. Mm-hmm. And then the next morning, all the adults were like yelling at us because they're like, "What the heck were you doing?" And we're like, "How did you find out?" And one of the guys, Nathan, I don't remember his last name. I'm calling him out right now because he was an idiot. He decided he didn't want to go back to his tent. He wanted to hang out with some more of his friends and play like Yu-Gi-Oh or something, or Magic with his friends throughout the night. So he went to bed at 6 a.m., but he forgot that he was tenting with like a 6th grader who had never gone camping with us before. He was extremely homesick and just cried the whole night because no one was with him in the tent, and then complained to the adults the next day. We're like, "Nathan, you're an idiot."
Oh no, the traitor.
But yeah, that was the story. Next. Just keep going.
Okay, so we're doing a story of the week.
Yeah, story of the week. Just something that happened to you this week. Could be good, could be bad. Just something that happened.
See, I don't really have anything interesting this week. Well, technically with Joel, there was something today with milk. So we opened the fridge door.
I think the first episode I did something that was like 2 weeks before.
Yeah, see, here's spoiler alert. Because y'all are listening. Sometimes I use stories from other weeks because I have incredibly boring weeks sometimes.
You just told a story from
you
when you
wouldn't
were
know
like
the
15.
difference.
Yeah, I just told a story when I was like 15. But
that
like,
wasn't your story of the week, was it?
No.
Okay,
I was just, you mentioned Manhunt. I was like, oh yeah, we did that once, and
Yeah.
got yelled at for 30 minutes by this cop who was the most scary dude I've ever encountered in my life. My old scoutmaster. He like it was funny. He was a detective for the state, and so like whenever we would do something and we're like, I can get away with this, like he would just go into detective mode and find out. And we're like, what the freak? Like, how am I supposed to do stuff fun without you finding out? But that's beside the point. Go.
He's good at his job.
I'll just talk about the milk. So,
Yeah, go talk about
the milk story.
always the milk. So we opened the fridge and we're like, wait, who bought milk? No one bought milk. This milk expired February 20th.
This year or last year?
Of this year,
Okay,
luckily,
I was going to
luckily.
say, if it was of last year, that's kind of...
So Joel's like, who bought this milk? We're probably never going to know because this is expired forever ago. But I was like, this is the roundest milk I've ever seen. It was really round.
Like the gallon?
Like a big gallon.
Yeah.
Like it was like a pint.
Like all the gas had like...
Yeah, apparently the gas had made it bloated, but I was like, this is a really weird container. Like, and then Joel's like, this is old. I'm like, oh no, the gas is bloated, didn't it? So he's like, let's pour it out. I'm like, no, don't pour it out. Guess what he does?
You poured it out.
He poured it out.
But once I'm like, we can release this toxic fumes into like our apartment. So he goes to the bathroom. He's like, nah, I'm just gonna do it in the sink. I just hear, oh no, this is just water. This is water with chunks. This is just chunky water.
Yeah.
He's like, no, this isn't even milk. This is cheese at this point. This is basic cheese.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so now the kitchen smells like
Cheese.
sort of like cheese.
Yeah.
Put lots of Febreze, lots of Hawaiian breeze in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it basically. Yeah, so now we have chunky cheese.
Yeah,
smells.
for the past like month, our fridge has been smelling. And the other night I was cooking and I was like looking for ingredients in the fridge. I was like, and while I was looking, I was like also like, what the heck? It smells so bad. Like, let me look for something. And I saw this container in the back. And I was like, what is this? And I opened it up and I realized it's a thing of beans that my dad gave me like 4 months ago. And I was like, gonna close that and not tell anyone, throw that away.
Actually, our fridge smelled really bad because of something your dad gave me. It was pork tenderloin,
Oh, no.
and we left it in there for like a month or more.
Yeah.
And we're
You
like,
didn't eat pork tenderloin? It's so good.
it was already almost bad. He's like, y'all eat this fast, and we like forgot.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so my dad is an
I
incredible
love
cook.
pork tenderloin. I'm kind of mad about that.
He's an incredible cook, but like he gives me food and he's like, "You eat it," and I'm like, "All right, cool," and then I forget to eat it. So
from now on, all spare food, just bring it here, bring it home. Tell me it's mine, and I'll eat it.
Yeah,
especially
sure.
if it's pork tenderloin.
all right.
There was one on the milk story. This is me being open and honest. I don't know how this didn't have greater effect. If a sister ever listens to this, there's this one time where back when there was 5 of us, I think it was when Zach was still living at our house. We had a milk that was like full, but it was like expired, like it was done. I honestly think, in me being open, I think it was mine. Like I bought 2 milks and just drank one and then forgot about the other one. I don't know why, but it expired. It was full, and it was like, I like opened it. I was like, "Ooh, that's not good." Closed it again, and I was like, "So throwing it away is not the best thing that we can do here. This is not the best opportunity that we have. What we can do is we can pull a prank with this."
Oh no.
And I was like, we could leave it on somebody's doorstep. We could put it in somebody's car.
I remember.
You know, whatever. So I went to one of the sisters' houses, and I made sure they didn't have a rug beforehand, like on the porch of their house. But I opened the milk and just poured it all over the porch, and then like closed the thing, threw it in the trash bin that they have in front, and then just left. And what was weird is like I never heard about it. Like nobody like complained and said who did this or like what happened with this. Like the next day, everything went according to plan. Like it was just another normal day in the neighborhood, and nobody ever found out. And I was like, that's kind of upsetting because I feel like I did a really good job of pulling a prank on that one. But like,
So they appreciated your gift, is what you're saying.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Like it must have fertilized the lawn or something like in front of the porch because they did not complain at all. Either that or they just internalized it and are
Bitter.
yeah, bitter still like a year later now. So yes, that's for future reference, instead of putting it in your own sink, that's what you can do with an expired gallon of milk.
Or you could just throw it away and not pour it out anywhere.
Then it explodes in the trash can.
That's not fun.
It's not.
That's not what happens with that.
You have a dumpster.
Yeah, okay, I got one. So, this is my story of the week.
Oh yeah.
So, we're going to timestamp this right now. Well, I guess not really. Kinda. Avengers comes out this month.
It does.
Endgame. Biggest, I'm going to call it right now, biggest movie of the century. Tickets went on sale.
I have my ticket. I'm excited.
Anyways,
night.
tickets went on sale, and they apparently sold out really fast. We're going to come. I'm triggered. We're going to come back to why you don't think it's the biggest movie of the century, but that's beside the point.
I'm not speaking.
We'll discuss it then. Anyways, tickets went on sale really quickly. I was like, well, I guess I'm waiting for like a week and a half before I go see it. And then Perry, we've talked about Perry before, was like, hey, we have tickets.
Oh.
I have tickets. Who wants them? I'm like, bet. So they're not incredibly great tickets. They're front row tickets. So, but still, I'm like, I get to go to see the movie.
Do a lot of neck exercises.
Yeah. So we have this whole group me for like the group run, and so I was like, I don't really want to cause problems. I don't want like everyone to know I have these tickets. So like, I'm just gonna text Perry directly. So I'm like, hey, do you still have the tickets? He goes, yeah. So we went back and forth about like time, seats, locations, and everything. And then I'm like, hey, like if you don't mind, I'll take them. So he's like, sure. And I'm like, cool. Can I pay you whatever? And he's like, yeah. So I claimed the tickets. And then I went to go buy them from him. And I paid him and everything. We Venmo'd him, and he pulls up the thing. He goes, all right, I'm going to give them to you. I don't know how to do that. I'll figure it out. And then he just walked off. So I paid Perry and don't have tickets. So Perry just stole my money and don't have movie tickets.
For now.
So at Perry, give me my tickets.
I'll say really soon, like it's like the closer that movie gets, it's gonna be like
Yeah, the closer the movie's gonna get, I'm gonna be like, hey Perry,
tickets.
you figure out how to give me those tickets? And if
also,
he says no,
how many did you buy?
2.
About
Perry
2?
had 2 tickets and I bought both of them off him.
Huh. So I guess he and Nikki just didn't want to go see it.
Technically, you donated money to Perry at this point.
Yeah, technically I donated money to Perry.
You
Anyways,
got a very specific offering.
Anyways, because I brought it up,
Also, you need to figure out who you're using.
I'm telling no one who I'm taking because here's what's gonna happen. I have like.
Are you taking you already have a person in mind?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's the problem though. I have a lot of friends, and the movie theater's sold out. So anyone I don't take is then immediately angry at me. So I mean, I realize that we're all adults and everything, but I also realize that like it's the movie of the century. So I think it is. Just all the hype and everything. But if you have a better movie that you think would be a
add it in the comments.
At me because here's what I think. I don't think it's gonna be movie of the century in terms of like best movie of all time kind of thing or most like artsy or critically acclaimed whatever. But I think in terms of the hype, in terms of the storyline, and in terms of what we saw in the last movie, at the end of it, like I think this has the potential to be the biggest movie of the century. Or the biggest movie of all time up to this point. I think there'll be another movie that'll be bigger than it, but that's what I think. Again, purely because we've been waiting 10 years for this, and the last one ended. How long ago did that come out?
Infinity War?
Yeah.
Was that 2 years ago? It was 17?
No, it was last year.
Last year.
It's last year this time? Period? This time?
I want to say it was May.
Okay, that's at least a year. The way everyone went out in the last movie, especially with Spider-Man going out the way he did, and like
spoilers.
It's not. That's why we just had that conversation. All right, here. If you haven't seen it, jump a minute ahead. Right, we're gonna give you a minute, and then we'll stop talking about this movie.
Probably should have said that before.
I'm sorry, but like just
go back in time, just forget your.
Yeah, with the people who died, with everyone like how they're coming back, and all that stuff, with Thanos essentially winning.
It was April 27th. Was when it came out.
It's almost exactly a year because this was coming out in 26.
Yeah, almost.
Anyways, so just with Thanos winning and with everything that happened, like, I think this movie has like the potential to be the biggest movie of all time up to this point.
I think I think it like the hype is certainly going to rival that of Star Wars 7.
Star Wars 7 also wasn't a good movie, but we've already talked about that.
Well, yeah, Star Wars 7 was a trash movie, but like we had going into that, it was one of those things where it was an established series and it was moving forward with an established series that everybody loved. And like it had been gone. The thing was, it had been gone for a while. So like to bring it back, everybody was like, "Oh my gosh!" You know. I want to say that Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was kind of along the same lines, and the first the Hobbit movies, the first of the Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, also had that kind of hype where it's like there was a lot of time, and then they continue the series.
The Hobbit movies were, of the movies you named though, the Hobbit movies were the only ones that were good.
Well, right. No, I'm saying though, like you have an established series that everybody loves and respects.
True. Makes sense.
And then like it continues, and then with this one, like it had like you had Infinity War, which was already established as like an unbelievable movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was just looking on IMDb. It's a 9.5 out of 10, which is like fantastic. But like so it's already great, but it's part 2 of that. So everybody's already got the hype of having seen part 1. They're like, oh, this is gonna mirror part 1. Plus, it's just a good series. So like you can't stop the hype train.
Right. I think expectations might be too high though, and people will be disappointed.
I don't know. Maybe
they might be.
Oh, was that a question?
Yes.
Oh. I don't know. I think honestly, it's going to depend on who makes it.
Yeah.
Like, will anything be shocking after the last movie though?
Well, that's why the last movie was so shocking. Because, all right, for 10 years, we've had Marvel movies, right? Starting with Iron Man 1.
Was that in 07 when that came out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like 06, maybe 08. About 10 years, we've had Marvel movies, starting with Iron Man 1. But even in all these movies, they all, like, you could predict them. They were going to start out and, like, okay, in terms of like the hero. The hero was going to start out and he was going to be in an okay situation. He's going to go to a place where something terrible happened and he has to like come back from that. 2008, yeah.
First Iron Man?
The hero has to come back from that point, and then at the end he's going to beat the villain. Right. Black Panther's going to beat Killmonger at the end of it. Iron Man is going to beat AIM.
Are you spoiling Iron Man right now?
Just all
These movies came out like hundreds of years ago.
Whiplash.
Whiplash, yeah.
That was the
They're
second-
going to
second
beat their villain at the end of the movie, and then in
Who
this,
was AIM? Was that the third one?
Yeah.
Oh.
and then worst movie of all
It
time.
was trash.
I thought you
And
were talking about Warmonger.
Warmonger's
Killmonger.
different.
First,
Killmonger.
Killmonger.
No, the war.
Okay,
the first.
so I've now
Oh,
mentioned in this
Ironmonger.
conversation. I've now mentioned
Ironmonger,
three different
yes.
movies: Iron Man 1, Iron Man 3, and Black Panther.
Yes.
So AIM was Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Killmonger is Iron Man.
No, that's
Killmonger is Black Panther. Warmonger
Ironmonger.
is
Ironmonger
Ironmonger is
is-
Iron Man
yeah.
1. Yeah, but that's
They
not
like
the point.
Monger at
Anyways,
Marvel.
anyway, so like, but there's this pattern, right? Like they're going to
Yeah.
win at the end.
Yeah.
I want to do this last one. I want to do Infinity War. I can't say this last one because other movies have come out since. And I was like, all right, like they're going to replace these Avengers. They're going to get these new Avengers in. I'm excited about that. Like I love these old Avengers though, but like their time is over. And like it's time for some new people. Like I'm excited to see Spider-Man and the Avengers and everything. But like these Avengers, like they're gonna go out with a bang. I don't know who's gonna live. Like, and I had it like I'm a comic person, so I had it down to Captain America and Iron Man because they're the team leaders in the comics. They're the ones that kind of lead all this stuff. Like they're the leaders from Civil War, and between the two, like I said, between the two factions in this movie, they're the leaders of the two. So I was like, one of these two, like you got to get the Avengers back together. And I don't see that happening without one of these two not being there. So one of these two is dead. Personally, I thought Captain America's going to end it. They already have both of Captain America's backups in this like universe. So I'm like, this is perfect. And then Iron Man, I
It
thought,
bothers me because I still think Chris
Yeah.
Evans really has it.
yeah. And then I was like, Iron Man, like Robert Downey Jr., he'll probably just retire. Like I could see that character being like, you know what, I'm out. Like, have fun, guys, and give his suit to someone else.
Still with the Don Cheadle joke that like
Yeah.
we don't want to see Don Cheadle
on a
movies.
different planet.
Well, okay, that's the end of the movie, though.
Oh.
I'm talking at the beginning. Like, when I
Like,
walked
going in.
I was like, that's probably what's going to happen here. Like, I don't remember if I knew it was a part 1 of 2 at that point. I thought it was going to end, but that's beside the
Part
point.
1 of 4.
Whatever. I was like, I don't know. Maybe. I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. Someone's dead, though. And then at the end, what happened, and I was like, what the actual heck? And it was the first Marvel movie where...
Should not have said that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It was the first Marvel movie where it wasn't good at the end. Where...
Good as in like a positive.
Yeah, the ending wasn't
Like,
positive.
hero
You didn't
win, yeah.
walk the hero didn't walk off and be like, yeah, we beat this guy. Villains will come in the future, but we got them, or like some weird cheesy line like that. It didn't end positive. It literally ended with Captain America just sitting on the ground saying, "What the heck just happened?" and then curtains. And I was like,
Yeah.
"What the heck?" First of all, Iron Man and Captain America are both still there, which I was like, I got it wrong. But like. So, like, I'm excited for this movie, but I think you are right. Like, I think there is a real threat that, like, we could walk into this movie and overhype it. Which is a scary thought to me because I really want this movie to do well. And they've been kind of really quiet with a lot of things about this movie, too.
Which is great.
Like, even
my brother hates that. He and I were talking about it. I was
Well,
like,
even
that's
the
fantastic.
even the trailers, like they filmed scenes specific for the trailers that aren't even in the movie. So nothing that's come out in the trailer is like canon in the movie at all. Which is like I love it because like I don't know anything going in, but I could also see how like it'd be really upsetting to not know anything. But yeah, so I'm excited for this. We'll see what happens.
Did you see what Chadwick Boseman said in like his little interview like a couple days ago about it? They're like, "Are you excited for Endgame?" And he goes, "I mean, kinda. I'm dead." I was like, "That's really funny." Still like not giving anything away, but I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be fantastic, but I'm also like biased as a huge
Yeah.
Marvel fan. So
Yeah.
Yes, Joel.
So, quick
hand
question. Did we already talk about pirates versus ninjas?
We had that.
from left field,
Yeah, from left
Hey,
field.
I gotta quickly ask.
I thought we had that conversation
Yes, we had episode 1.
in episode 1.
Yes.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, don't listen to this podcast, so I don't know.
Okay.
I think we settled on ninjas.
No, we didn't. Well, we said ninjas would win in a. It could depend on the setting. Like if you put them in a building together and you said
go
fight
Pirates
each other,
clearly
the
gonna win.
ninja's gonna win. But if you put them in an open battlefield where they can see each other, a pirate's gonna win because he also has a gun. So, yeah, we absolutely talked about that already.
Ninjas.
They don't have the element of stealth. They're greatly
Yeah.
disadvantaged.
I asked this question to a dude at work the other day, and he said pirates. I said why? He said because pirates don't fight fair. And I was like, as much as we talk about ninjas not fighting fair, you're right. Pirates also don't fight fair. So, but that's
I had something to say about Endgame, and I completely forgot what it was.
I'm
No,
sorry.
No, you're good.
I don't remember.
We
what
talked
it
about
was.
the Chadwick Boseman comment, and
Yeah.
he's not giving things away, and how you like that they're not giving
Oh,
things away.
I did want to say that there was. So I was like, when you see a DC movie, like you
That's
could,
gonna suck.
you know it's gonna suck.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
I
not
don't
excited
know.
for DC movies
How
anymore.
has the Shazam reviews been? Because that came out this weekend, right?
I'll look them up.
Was that the weekend before? But
I'll
people,
look it up.
of course, all the advertisements are like, it's the most fun you'll have all year. I'm like, I'm going to see Infinity War in 3 weeks. You're absolutely wrong.
Right.
But like you can see trailers for a DC movie and basically have seen the movie.
Yeah.
You know, like we saw, I saw a trailer for Batman vs Superman, and I just for the longest time just understood what happened. That it was Batman and Superman fought each other. Somehow they didn't kill one another. Wonder Woman showed up. They fought Doomsday.
Right.
Everybody goes home happy. And I got that from a trailer. Like they spoiled everything. And like
Yeah.
for this movie, like nothing is given away. And my
So-
brother is like, I want to know what's happening. I want to know what it is before I'm going in. I'm like, I don't. I'm in suspense, bro. I'm like, my hands are gonna be shaking.
Well,
like,
you're also
during the movie.
You're also the same dude that, like, when I was watching the Flash TV show in the living room, you walked in and threw your hat at me because you're like, no, stop, and then walked and hid in your room.
Because I explicitly told you not to do that, though.
It wasn't my fault. That was Kwame. But beside the point.
Yeah.
You're the kind of person though that like I can like all I have to do is mention like the basement in Attack on Titan and like I can see the fear in your eyes because you think I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you what's in it.
Because I don't like spoilers. I really
Yeah.
don't. Like the suspense that leads up to it. Like it's kind of like how I'm not gonna make that analogy. Like there's one like when you get like are able to surprise somebody with something. Like when you tell a joke for the first time.
Yeah.
Like when I tell that really long 2-part joke about the plane and the brick, like that's really funny the first time. You know what I'm saying? Like when you tell a joke, like that's funny the first time, but then you tell it the second time and people are like, it's whatever.
Yeah.
So like the building up that suspense and like knowing what it is as you watch it is like the best for me.
Yeah.
You know? And
See-
it helps me to enjoy it more later. You know, because I'll be like, oh man, like if I watch it again, I'm like, I remember the time that I saw it the first time, and my reaction was this. And Perry described it like he likes watching anime with Nikki because he likes seeing Nikki's reaction when she watches something that he watched the first time.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I know what to expect. But like if you watch a movie that somebody's like already spoiled, that's why I turned my phone off when your sister was texting us going into Infinity War because
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not gonna have this given away and be like, oh yeah, you know how fun that was when that person just texted me. I remember that. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
You know?
There's
So,
also like if you know what's gonna happen, at least some of like a major plot twist, then you have the like how did that even happen? How did that come to be? And then you're intrigued at the process. The process is part of it,
yeah, correct.
but it's also can ruin it. It depends on the person. It depends on the person.
Yeah.
But,
You know what I just thought would be fun? When this next season comes out this month of Attack on Titan.
Oh, I'm
we
excited for that as well.
We watch like you and me, maybe
Together,
some other
we
guys.
watch it- we're watching
we
it
watch it
together.
together and we live stream your reaction to what happens. Because like so I
Because you semi know what's going to happen.
no I
haven't
read the manga. Like
Yeah.
I know everything that's gonna happen. Like I'm excited for this. This next arc in the manga was my favorite arc of all time. In the anime, it's gonna be fantastic. I'm excited to see what happens, and it's the arc that you finally like get to the basement. And I'm not gonna tell you what's in it. I'm not gonna say anymore because I know how much you hate that.
I'm
but
excited
like you
for
get
it.
to see what's in there.
Yeah. continue.
Yeah. Anyways, you get to see.
No,
you get to,
continue, and then I want to ask the question.
yeah, you get to see what's in there. But like even if you watch the last episode of the last season, like they're on their way to that part of the wall, and like you already know that all the enemies are on there, so you know that like part of you's like already knows there's going to be a battle there, and it's just so fantastic. And so I'd love to like live stream that reaction. That'd be fun, or like just YouTube it.
That's just like let's say take a video of me while I'm watching it.
That'd be great. Also, after Joe's question, I have the reviews for Shazam up on my phone.
Is that from Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So related to like what people like about films, anime, stuff like that.
Yeah.
What are your like favorite type of stories and stuff like that?
Like the favorite types of movies?
No,
To watch?
stories.
Stories.
In general. Like the story, the like plot or elements of plot and
Yeah.
characters and stuff like that.
I love
So
action.
kind of like a genre, maybe?
I mean,
Because certain genres have certain things that are like...
yeah, but
Yeah.
like explain what would be the perfect story for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the perfect story for me, there's an anime that has the perfect type of story for me, and I'll go into that in a minute. But like for me personally, I like a lot of different things. I enjoy watching like just comedy and like watching something where nothing's really happening. But I also love action and battle. But we talked about this with like DC and like Suicide Squad in earlier episodes. Like I hate battle for no reason. Like Transformers, great special effects, great fights. But like I'm watching that movie, I'm like, like there's no plot to this. Transformers 3, which is the one with the knight sword. I'm like,
That's the fourth
no,
one, I think.
no, it was the first one was Mark Wahlberg. The one with
the fourth one.
Yeah, the fourth one. Anyways, they're going around. I'm like, there's no plot to this. They're like, we gotta get the seed. Like, what's the seed? I don't know, but we gotta get it. Like, what? Like, and then there's dinosaur robots. Like, I love action, but like, I want a plot to it, which is why I love fantasy and stuff like Lord of the Rings, right? Because there's so much action, there's so much battles, but there's also a plot. Like, they're going somewhere. And honestly, it's just why I love the Battle of the Five Armies movie, because that's a huge battle from beginning to end. And a lot of people like said that was not a great movie because of that. They're like, there's no plot. But
Just
like,
a big fight.
well, the point, those movies in particular, like you can't take one at a time. Like you have to watch them as a set. But like,
Which is a real commitment.
yeah, like the plot of that movie is just so great and everything. But like, just going back to what I was saying, like I watch an anime, Gintama, and I've talked to people about this before. It's not a very popular anime in terms of like in America. I don't really know how it does in Japan, but it's basic. It's weird because it's a parody type anime and a battle anime at the same time. So they'll have fights, but the main characters like break the fourth wall all the time, and they will also have episodes where like they'll be just doing absolutely nothing. And they'll have arcs where they'll be doing absolutely nothing. I remember an arc where they got turned into old people, so they had to go find out how to not get turned back into regular people. There was another one where two of the main characters switch bodies and they're just going around trying to live each other's lives. But like when it wants to be actiony, it turns it up, and it is incredibly like great fight scenes, great action, everything, and it has a plot. Like you're essentially just the plot is you're just watching the lives of these characters, and how they react to things. So even that like is a good enough plot for me. So like that's what I like. I like plot is what I'm saying. Like I enjoy watching like a story, and watching like whether that's a comedic story, a violent action story, is just anything in general. I just like a story.
Yeah, I like some semblance of realism, of reality. So like that kind of like makes it difficult when you're watching a superhero movie because like it's not possible for now. But like I watch this YouTube channel.
Dang it! I just swallowed my gum by accident.
Oh, it's unfortunate. It won't digest for like 7 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Took a sip of water. Rip.
But I watch a YouTube channel called Cinema Sins where they just pick movies apart for like all the dumbest things, And my favorite my favorite thing that the guy does when he picks them apart is he'll do like this, in air quotes, this really long sentence, and then at the end of it says cliche.
Mm-hmm.
Like, side character diving in the way of a main character to save his life cliche. You know, like, if a movie doesn't have those types of cliches, that's a huge plus for me. Like, I hate it when I see a main character, like, about to die, or, like, is gonna, like, make that noble sacrifice that I'm like, okay, like, this Joker's about to be a real
Finn
one.
in the last...
Yes, in episode 8 of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. I was actually okay with that. I was like, all right, bro, like, going out like a G. Like, I don't like your character, but, like, this is the perfect way for you to die.
Absolutely hate Finn's character, and so, but I was like, okay, like...
I could be down with this. Like, you're saving the Republic or the Rebel Alliance right now, and then she's like, no!
And
I'm
then,
like, freak you!
Someone, like, jumps in the way. Like, so I was rewatching Aragon, because I finished the Aragon books, and I was like, why was this movie terrible? And so I watched the movie, and then there's that scene where Aragon's about, like, a shade throws
and then Brom, like,
the spear at him, and Brom jumps in the ways. No!
He does that
he
does that in the book, though.
No,
right?
he doesn't. The shade just straight up kills him in the book.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they fight.
Yeah.
But, like, and so, like, in that whole scene, like, leading up to that, like, Aragon and Saphira, his dragon, had flown far away from Brom to get to this place where they fight. And then all of a sudden, as Aragon's about to die, Brom shows up and is like, no! Even though that Joker could never realistically have traveled that far to get there, and then just happens to show up, you know, at the time to dive in the way.
I have to
a bunch
say,
of cliches, and it's just not... It doesn't make sense. So, like, even in something that's completely fantasy, something that's not, you know, nonfiction, or I'm sorry, something that is fiction, like something that you go, there's no freaking way. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like how I think it's like in there's this really old book called The Importance of Being Earnest, where like these two dudes are in love with like two different women, and they're like going under surnames, but then they find out that their surnames are like their actual names, and then the girls are like actually in love with someone that they want that name to be, and it's like, what are the odds that like something like that would happen? Like, it's a comedy, so it's like, haha, like that happens like that. But when I sit back and I'm like, there's no way, like, you could have done so much better, been more realistic, or come to that point in a better way. That's when I'm like, I don't take this movie seriously.
I mean, when it comes to Aragon, I mean, what can you expect when the script was literally written by like a high schooler?
Okay,
Well, no, so
the books
the books
were
really
great.
good, except for the
end of the last one. The books were fantastic. There was going back to me, there was a plot. There wasn't huge cliches. Like, there was actual character development.
There was. His brother's character development is fantastic in the books.
Well, even the villains, though, the villains weren't bad guys because they're bad guys. They were bad guys because they had reasons to be. Like, even the ultimate villain, what was his name, Galbatorix or whatever. Like, when Brom went into like why he's so evil, like he had like if I was him, I'd be evil too. Like, he had a reason to do what he did. He's not evil just because I want to be evil, which is what a lot of books and movies do. Murtaugh,
he pulled a, for those of you that haven't read the books, he pulled a Thanos where there's basically magic in this world that they live in, basically like Lord of the Rings. It's kind of like a Lord of the Rings knockoff, sort of. But like, there's dragons and magic, and Galbatorix, the ultimate villain, is like, magic is like way unhinged, like too many people can use it, so he finds the true word of magic and is like, I'm gonna wipe magic out from the world.
Well, it was also
like,
kind of
hold it for myself.
It was also kind of a revenge thing because his dragon died, and the Dragon Rider Council, like, the original reason why he went up and like fought against them is because like they wouldn't help him. They were like, we don't really like you. Like, you're kind of like. They essentially did a Jedi Council with Anakin. They was like, like, you're not evil, but you have a lot of anger within you. So, like, we're not going to promote you to master, but we're going to put you on the council. Like, they were like, like, you had a dragon, you want another dragon, but, like, no. And he goes, what the heck? And, like, they did him dirty, and because of that, like, he went on this rampage against them. He stole an egg, and then they're like, you're evil. And he goes, what? And he essentially was fighting them because they attacked him. Not saying that like they had their reason or anything. I'm not saying like I side with him. I love the main character and like the Rebel Alliance and everything in that book. But like he had reasons to do what he wanted to do. And
Yeah.
so like that's what I loved about those books. And then the end, we're not going to talk about the end. It sucked.
It did.
But yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So the books.
Well,
books
no,
were,
you're good, you're
hold
yeah,
on.
I'm sorry. The books were good, but
The movie was terrible.
what the main cinema sin from Aragon was like at the end. He was like, well, when you take a book that was written by an 18-year-old and then completely divert from the source material, like they went way off from it and make a movie with a main actor who had no real front and center experience. You had an actress playing the kind of the love interest who also no real experience, and then they killed the best character like 10, 20 minutes in, in a way that he wasn't supposed to die, all because they went away from the source material. It's like, of course it wasn't going to be good, And then they end the movie on, so there's a next time, and like it's like, you thought there was going to be a sequel.
Yeah.
Nope. Anyways.
Yes, as far as stories go, let's see. I've always liked kind of like, we talked about the realism, Stephen, like the realistic fiction I liked for a while just because it's a thing that could obviously very much happen, but they didn't actually happen. But one of the things with like Gary Paulson is an author that I liked a lot. He has very, very short books, like 200 pages or less typically, but you connect to the characters emotionally so quickly. Like he builds them up so much, and like you get the background and backstory, you get to get a feel for them. And when you lose one of them, like one of them dies, you're like, I'm about to cry. Like this is some serious stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. More recently, I've gotten kind of into fantasy things, and yeah, like when fantasy's done well, you have these foreign elements, like this world that's different and changed, this magic and this unpredictable in some sense, or maybe it is predictable. But there's also, if they have that commonality with our real world, like with real people with real problems, and oh wait, there's this class structure, and there's this and then just things you recognize can really pull you into the world easier to get you immersed into it, and then you can be like, oh, but look at this foreign concept and this foreign concept. And so I guess lately more so I would definitely say fantasy that's done well, like Stormlight Archive or so on. But
Yeah, I'm told those are good. I haven't read them, but I'm told those books are good.
yeah, they are good.
I've not heard of. You said it was Gary Paulson.
Gary Paulson.
Well, Stormlight Archive is Brandon Sanderson.
Sanderson, yes. Stormlight Archive Sanderson.
Which
Okay.
my sister reads all his stuff, and it's really interesting. Like, these sound like books I would love to read, but I just don't read anymore. Thanks, high school English, for killing my desire to read.
Yeah.
My high school English
But, like-
promoted my want to read.
Well, okay,
Yeah,
when you
mine
read
too.
stuff like Wuthering Heights for high school English, like, who wants to read anything after
I
that?
didn't
read that. I read Aragon and Lord of the Rings for my book reports.
Yeah, no, my
Like,
teachers
that's what I
we had
wanted
to read
do.
Wuthering Heights. What was the other thing? The Awakening, which is essentially like a book where this housewife decides, wait, I want to be someone different.
Not a housewife.
Not a housewife.
Yeah.
And then she commits suicide.
Oh, well, that sounds
all these like
Wow.
yeah. But like his books, according to her, are interesting because he's got like 3 or 4 different series that all take place in the same universe.
Different, like worlds.
But like on different worlds. So like each one works differently, and each one has like a different like political system, different planetary system. All the settings are different, but all the basic rules for like the physics and math and everything are the same. And magic they're all the same because they exist in the same universe, but like the characters call it different things in all the books, which is like really interesting to me. But I definitely like agree with you. Like, that you've done something good if you're like a writer of a show. If you can make the show terrible and I'll still watch it because I'm connected to the characters. Like because this has happened multiple times. Like going back to anime, Sword Art Online. I connected with that show for multiple reasons, but one of the main reasons is like I liked the characters and like I had this connection with them. Also, I'm a video game person, so like I could see myself doing this. But like once they got out of the game and like did all this other stuff, like the show sucks now. But like I'm still connected to the characters, so I'm going to watch it. Like I want to know what happens to these characters.
Yeah, it feels like they're your friends or something, like you know them.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, there's a connection here. Like I can't just what's going to happen?
Yeah.
You also wonder like who's gonna kind of fill like their like role, like what they did, like what they brought, like so like in The Walking Dead where characters are in and out all the time. Sucks now, but like back in the day when it was good, like when someone died, you're like, oh wow, like that's this person, like this was their role, like they're that dude, You know, like when Glenn got the bat, like everybody was like, oh, that's Rick's best friend, like, and what's her face's husband, like, who fits that? You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of have to like, oh man, like that's a whole piece of like this whole story that's missing. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I like connecting with characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one. I'll say one of the reasons I think like so Perry and I talk about all the time how the DC versus Marvel stuff. Like one thing that I always have to concede before I talk about superhero movies is how good the Batman series was. And the Batman series was good because it was like, it fit exactly into like what I love in that, like, while it's a superhero movie, like it seemed extremely realistic. Like there wasn't like any real like super powered beings or anything like that. It was just this one rich dude who put on a costume and put his money to use, you know, trying to save a very corrupt city, you know? And like, it's cool to see like a masked person do that. Like you're like, you know what? If there was a rich enough and bold enough and physically fit enough person, you know, all in this one being that could do that, I can see that happening, you know? Like something like that, like really pulls that out, you know?
Yeah, there's nothing worse than watching a TV show, getting connected to characters, and then realizing that the author or like the producer, whoever's writing the script, has no problem just killing people off. Like, there's nothing worse than that. You're like, oh, dang it. Like, I can't think of a show currently. Like, I had one the other day. Like, I like putting, like, also like putting myself into the show, like, in my mind. Like, I daydream a lot, so like, also, you know, you're a good show if like I daydream about this show for like months on end, like, and just how I would interact with these characters. And there's nothing worse than like, all right, this is how it would happen. Oh wait, that character's died. Okay, hold up. Oh wait, no, this one's dead too now. Okay, got to figure out how I fit back in this whole scheme of things, because like all the characters I interacted with in my
messing up all my plans.
Yeah, in my imaginary head are dead.
Yeah, like you knew how the story was gonna go, and then you got to figure out something else.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than that.
I feel that.
But yeah, so we're all excited for Infinity War.
Yeah, Endgame.
Endgame.
Yep.
And
I keep calling it that too. I'm like, it's literally Infinity War Part 2, but they wanted
we're
to call
excited
it
for that.
Endgame.
We're excited for animes. We'll
release
let you know if we
Attack on Titan.
live stream Steven screaming while people get eaten by titans.
Who knows? But
yes, Joel.
what are you excited about? Because besides
That's
that,
a good.
Yeah.
For those of you listening, he did not blink when he asked.
He did not. No.
Dinner plate.
Scared
What are you
James
Very
down.
serious.
What are you excited for?
I don't know. What am I excited for? You look like
Fresh milk.
I'll be honest,
Fresh
you look like
milk.
you're trying to pull something out of him. Like,
I think he is.
I know,
as if,
he
like,
is.
you're looking for an answer.
I think like he's looking for a specific answer.
well, no, I'm more looking at the fact that you just don't speak enough.
Dang.
That's because
Dang.
often we're talking about things I don't know much about.
Let's call him out.
You did this the other day too, didn't you?
What?
I don't remember
He
if
did
it was with you. Like you asked. I think it was with you.
It was with
He
me.
asked you. He was like, "How you doing?" or something like that, and you were like, "I'm fine." He's like, "No."
Yeah.
But like, what's been going on? And you're like, are you looking for something? He's like, no, I was just asking you because I wanted to see if you tell us something else.
Yeah. He was. Yes. Joel definitely prods me for information.
You are definitely an
Okay.
introvert.
Yes, I am definitely an introvert.
I will say I ask
disagree.
people to. I do this all the time though, like kind of like that, but I guess in a different way. Like if I ask somebody how they're doing and they're like, I'm good. I'm like, okay, clearly like there's more to it than that. Like
Yeah.
I'll get somebody to explain the good. I'll be like, all right, so go deeper. But I won't be like, but no. Cause like you're looking at it, you're like, no.
But not really.
Yeah.
Like,
And you're like,
See, the thing is, Joel, I can't really comment on Lord of the Rings or Aragon or anime.
yeah.
So I listen.
I'm sorry. Like,
No,
I didn't mean to
no, it's fine.
throw
It's
you
fine.
into the.
I'm just trying to explain why I'm not talking so much, and Joel seems very
Yeah,
concerned.
yeah.
if we look at his shirt, he's a
Listen,
physicist.
I already know.
Yes, of course I have problems. Come on.
Listen, I already know this. I don't know.
What kind of? Never mind. Yeah. We did just do that. We threw you under the bus with all that anime and
No, not under the bus.
I mean, not really. It's a
Not
small
really.
bus.
It's a small
It's
bus.
the little mustard bus. Do you ever guys have those?
Mustard
Like,
bus.
did you guys call them that?
yeah.
No.
I thought that was so great. They're yellow buses. That's why you call them mustard bus. They're the small ones, like the short bus.
Yes.
I had something
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
I had we had regular buses like at my school, but like because it was a small school, like we were traveling, we'd usually have like the little mini buses.
Ah.
Yeah.
I rode the bus in school for all of 2 weeks.
By to school?
No, like from school for 2 weeks
To go home?
Yeah, and then I was like, I can't do this anymore, Mom. And she's like, all right, yeah, I agree, and she picked me up from school.
Yeah.
So
Wait, why couldn't you do it anymore? Were you just
because
uncomfortable?
all right, so it was like my sister's younger than me. It was the year where she was in 8th grade, I'm in 9th grade, and Mom's like, I can't pick you both up from school. Like, Barry, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to ride the bus.
Were you different schools?
8th grade and 9th grade, so middle school and high school, so different schools.
Well, my school had.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forget you were
K-12
private schooled.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
Anyways,
Oh, that's interesting.
I went to private school. We had
Um,
K through 12.
but yeah, so she was like, I can't pick you both up. Like, I'm sorry, y'all gotta ride the bus home. So we're like, all right, cool. She goes, I'll be there when you get home, but like whatever. So Aaron, no problem, whatever. Me, this is back in the school I went to. They had since built a new high school. I actually went to that new high school for the last 2 years. It was great. But the high school I went to was in an area where there was a lot of migration of people in. It's the area of Columbia. Lexington is the area of Columbia near the lake, so a lot of people want to go there. It's historically where all one of the areas where a lot of the rich people who live in Columbia live. So like everyone, like there's those kind of people, and it also has a lot of industry, like the Michelin plant came in. So there's a lot of like influx of people from different kinds of places. It also has the best school districts in, one of the best school districts in the area. So like there's a lot of families who want to go there. So suffice it to say, there's a lot of people. One high school, 4,000 people.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
a lot of people.
yeah, it's a lot of people. And my stop was one of the last stops on the bus. But when it's the last stop on a bus of like 100 people, it took me like an hour and a half to get home. So like school would get out at 3:40 and I'd get home at like 5:30. I was like, this sucks. Like, what the heck? I'm just sitting on the bus for my entire afternoon. She was like, yeah, no, you're not doing that. So I was like, yeah. It also sucked because all the stops were like around the lake, and I would literally drive by people and like kids would get out and they would literally go home to like their Spanish style villas. I was like, what the freak? I'm like the poorest person at my school. Like, what the heck, guys? Like, you literally just walked into a house that has like 500 bedrooms. Like, I'm not exaggerating. There were those kind of kids at my high school. And then they built River Bluff, and I went to River Bluff, and
This is a castle.
I had to stop complaining about like how unprivileged I was because we had like flat screen TVs and we had iPads, and I was no, I'm gonna stop complaining about how other people have it better than me. And so
Yeah, once I was on the bus, my senior year, because I got my license a bit late. That's beside the point. I was sitting there, and this girl in front of me turns around and goes, "Oh, hey, are you new here? Are you a freshman?" And I was like,
Oh.
"No." And she goes, "Sophomore?" I said, no. And I
No.
started to pull my
Thumbs up,
ID.
keep going.
And she's like, "Junior?" I was like, "Senior." She goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry." So that's my life in a nutshell.
You had that young face, though.
I have a young face.
She thought you were a freshman to start
This has
with.
been my whole life. Like once I was like in 6th or 7th grade, and a friend and I were playing on the playground, and this like girl was like, "Oh, y'all are in 2nd grade, aren't you?" We're like, "No, we're not. And she was like, "Yeah, y'all are 2nd graders. I don't care what y'all say." It was like, but now I look back at old pictures and I can see it. I'm like, "Oh, it's like 8 there, right?" And like, "No, you were 14." I'm like, "Ah."
I was 14.
That's problematic.
Do you still get that now? Like if you
I don't get that anymore, actually. At least
Yeah?
I haven't in a while.
Because are you a junior now?
Sophomore.
Well, I feel like people
you're a
at college just
sophomore.
don't care what year you're in college. Because like when you walk around, 95% of the people just on campus are freshmen, and then like all the like sophomores and upperclassmen, they like are just walk the class. Like they don't really talk to people.
Yeah.
And so like, but I just feel like, especially when you have like classes where there's all kinds of different like people in the class, like no one really cares your level of education or your year in college when you're in college.
I can sometimes tell what people are because like
because freshmen are idiots.
The freshmen always have the USC, either the USC keychains, or not the keychains, like the lanyards. The lanyards. Yeah, you can always see the freshmen have the lanyards.
It's like hanging out their pocket.
I love the first week or two of school when people get their lanyard and they get their school ID and they put it in the card holder in their lanyard and they wear it around their neck.
I was told the week before I actually moved to USC. Well, we already know who area we are. Yeah. Okay, we've already said it.
I mean, yeah, we already said where we are. We're at Southern California, USC.
The point is, you said Columbia. Anyway, the point is,
you put Columbia in the band camp thing.
The point is, a week before I actually moved to the college, we were close. Our family is close friends with other people who their children, their guys, kids go here, and one of them already went here by the time I was about to go, and he told me a couple things like,
don't do drugs.
What?
Don't do drugs.
Hopefully somebody.
Listen, I can't hear.
Shout out to last week when we talked about drugs.
Yeah. One of the things was when you are looking for where to go, make sure you use your phone instead of one of the maps or anything, because you'll instantly know you're a freshman.
Okay.
I use my map proudly.
Listen,
I don't care.
Listen, I can tell people are freshmen without them walking around with maps. That's just saying. But continue.
Yeah.
I looked him up on my phone. When I was a freshman. They gave me a map.
Yeah.
And I took a picture of my phone and I would look at the picture of it on my phone. That way people would not see me walking around. Or you could just use
Google Maps.
Well, the thing was Google Maps. I tried that and they have an app I think on the sc.edu thing. It's an interactive map, which is awful. They need to update that. Yeah. Shout out to USC's tech department. They need to work on that. But every time I search a building on Google Maps, it would give me an address and I would not know where that is. Because I'm different from a lot of people in that my first day ever spent in the city of Columbia was move-in day. I never toured here. I never came here for a field trip. And I lived in Greenville since I was 3. Yeah. So Columbia was an hour and a half away at all times. And the first day I moved here was the first time I ever came here was move-in day. Mm. So I know where nothing is at all. I didn't even know where the closest Walmart was. And so when I'm looking up where to go for, to pick up all my freshman papers, to find out where my dorm is, where the parking spaces are, where the parking office is to get my tag, everything like that. I'm having to go through this painstaking process of looking everything up, and I'm trying to not use my map, and I'm figuring out which street it is, which now that I've been here, this is almost 7 years that I've been here, I can tell you where every single street in downtown is. Mm-hmm. But showing up like that and being
yeah, I was
having to walk up to people and be like, do you know where this street is? I'm the old freshman.
Joel wants to finish his list of things he was told.
Well, I was just gonna say
the second thing was, of course, make sure to never show your lanyard, or else you'll know you're a freshman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
the ultimate sign of a freshman.
I had a different kind of situation, whereas I just because I didn't know what I wanted to study and to save money. I went to a community college for the first 2 years, and I was all right, let's transfer to USC. So I got here as a junior, and first day of classes, I'm all right, let's do this. I'm excited. I'm excited to be here on campus. I'm finally at a 4-year university. Let's go. And then I was oh, wait a minute, I don't know where anything is. Crap. And so so then I'm all right, let's figure this out. And then I was oh wait, people are gonna think I'm a freshman, and I really don't like freshmen. So I was very self-conscious about trying to find out how to use that app. But like Steven said, the app sucked. In about 20 minutes trying to use it, I was this sucks. I just pulled the map out. I'm all right, who cares? I'm going to use this. Found my class in 10 minutes. People are oh, you freshman. I'm get away from me. I'm going to use the map and I'm going to be proud of it because I hate this stupid app.
For how many, for some of the things that people be describing that they're doing in tech departments and stuff, what I hear from Jared, what he can do with a computer, I'm I do not know why our technology is bad as it is. Yeah, I really don't.
Oh, that wasn't one of the projects I give for like the computer science majors. It's like,
Yeah.
fix our app.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
so Rachel Acosta was telling me that like she's on staff here at USC, and she was like, one of the things that she's doing for like it was like some sort of project that has to do with school. I want to say like a dissertation or something like that. But she was working on how to make Blackboard like an easier interface, or like sc.edu an easier interface.
Yeah,
but it was like for finding staff members, like so you can.
Who cares about
you can-
finding staff members? I
but
just
it's
want to
like you
find
can-
my assignments.
Well, it's like you can look up the directory and like look up different departments and like find out like contact info for certain situations and stuff. And so she was like running different surveys and stuff to find out how to make it better. And I'm like, it would be so much easier. Like one thing like that I wish they would work on is the map. Like where you like search something and you have that little picture of Cocky going
Yeah.
and pointing at it.
There's a specific thing that we're all looking for, and it's called UI/UX, user interface or user experience. And no programmer knows how to do that.
Like,
I just want the
Like
site to not
combine it?
crash when I try to register for classes.
so if I pretend I don't know what UI or UX is, just pretend.
Well,
Well,
user
experts, yeah.
interface is what you look at when you're like. I took a couple programming classes because I thought I wanted to program for a while. I love computers. Programming is not my thing, but like I do know basics and stuff. User interface is like what you're looking at when you look at the screen. So like, for instance, where the stuff is on Blackboard, how to navigate the web page essentially. User experience is how easy it is to use that, how easy it is to find stuff using the interface, how the experience of, to use the definition in the term or whatever the thing is, the experience that user is going to have while doing it. So whether the user is going to look at your web page or whatever you're trying to do and be like, all right, cool, this is very easy to navigate and not have a lot of problems, or if they're going to look at it and spend 20 minutes trying to find the button that says, it says, hey, go to this page. Like, all right, where is that page on this thing? Spend 20 minutes trying to find it.
Yeah.
And so it's very difficult to figure that out or to match it out because in order to make a lot of web pages have a lot of information on the web page, and everyone experiences things differently. So in order to make something that's easy to use for a lot of people, it's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
I will say this though, USC does both very badly. My sister was down here for spring break, and she was like, yeah, we were talking about schools and everything, and she was showing me some of like her schedule because like I was interested, and she pulled up the app for her school. Not gonna name what school it is.
It doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, it doesn't deserve it. She pulled out that app, like did all this stuff. I'm like, that app's great. She goes, yeah. What does UC have an app? I'm like, no, does not. And then I very quickly deleted it off my phone before I showed her that I was in fact telling the truth that USC does not have an app.
So there was a
Schedule planner.
Well, they actually have an app, but
They do?
it's just not great. Like I had it for like maps and stuff for a while.
Oh.
And
No,
like
you mean schedule planner, like the actual.
no, there's not an actual USC app. It just sucks and no one uses it.
there was something that we were talking about in our we might need to cut the punchline of this story, but like in my one class that I take, or one of the classes I take here, it's basically like a non-Christian Bible talk, or secular Bible talk is what I was looking for, where it's just very conversational. We'll talk about ethical issues in media, and like if you would put it in if you put it in the story, like if something like really controversial happens, like how much footage would you use, how much audio would you use, why would you make that call, you're 5 minutes till deadline and you get pressed with this, would you use it? And it's like, whatever, we talk about it and debate about it. And there's this one thing where a USC student got expelled from the university because they posted a picture on social media of a sorority who, as a joke, posted a photo of this girl who had a whiteboard list. It said reasons why USC Wi-Fi sucks, and then it was like bullet points, and it was like a couple like technical terms and like some advice, and it's like, oh, whatever. And then at the bottom, it just and like they just posted that on their USC page, and I was like, what? And so my professor was like, what do you do if you like see this? Is this a story? Can you post this picture? I was like, probably not, but it is a story, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I can.
You just told it, so this is a story.
Yeah, it is a story. So I will say though that is not that is not the issue with USC's Wi-Fi. It's a lot worse. I constantly go on my data when I'm here. I don't ever use the Wi-Fi when I'm here, and I certainly don't use the app because it does not function at all.
I was like, oh, cool, they have an app that does all these things. That's how they advertise it, like, as a freshman, and you're like, oh, no, this does nothing, and it's a waste of time, and a waste of space.
You come in so oblivious.
Yeah.
Like, and excited, like, as a like, high school senior and as a freshman, you're like, it's so exciting, all these new things.
Yeah, this is so great. Look at all these things available to me.
All the bars I can go to.
Because
let's be honest,
background.
Yeah, let's be honest. Freshmen only that's all they do here. Like, I'm being completely honest.
I remember
here
playing
isn't where we're sitting here. Yeah, now.
Yeah.
It's dorm.
USC.
I remember playing basketball one time at Strom, and like we're just playing a couple games, and this dude just goes, "Hey man, so you want to go get drunk tonight?" And I was just like, "That's people's conversation." like that's how it is. Like he wasn't talking to me. I just heard him talking to a friend or whatever. But I was like, that's just so weird. Like, that's one reason I really love our ministry, is because we can like talk about like actual things, like deep things, and be okay with each other. But I was like, that's the extent of people's conversation. Like these dudes might like be roommates or like fraternity brothers or something like that, and they're like, what they do is they'll like play sports and be like, hey, so what are we gonna do tonight? I don't know. What are you gonna do tonight? I don't know. We could get drunk.
Right.
Like 5 Points is in our backyard.
Yeah.
That's epic.
There's nothing greater than working desk at 2 a.m. and just watching all the drunk people come in and like and the struggle opening the door to the dorm. I'm like, y'all are idiots. Like, what?
Have you ever had somebody who was not from the Capstone dorm come in and try to check in as a resident?
All the time.
That's hilarious.
Sorry about that.
Well, so it's worse at the other dorm I work at, Columbia, because at Cap, like, in order to come in, you have to come by the desk and like swipe your card and go in. But the desk at Columbia sits in front of the door, and so like you can just open the door without having to come by the desk. So they'll just kind of pop and walk in. I'm like, all right, cool. You should come sign in, but it's cool if you just walk up the stairs anyways, like with your friends. But yeah, there's been a lot of fun times, really late at night, interacting with just drunk freshmen as I'm just sitting there trying to watch anime on my laptop, because we all know I'm not doing homework at 2 a.m.
Do you ever just mess with them for fun?
Yes, all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yes, all the time.
That's great.
It's the greatest. Like I used to like at Cap, like in order to open the stairs, they have to come by and like ask for the stairs. Like I have to push the button. I used to do this thing where like they'd ask, "Can I have the stairs?" I'm like, "No," and just stare at them, and then they just stare at me back. And like it was really funny because half the time you got one of two responses. The person that or three. The person that thought you were serious and was like, "What?" And would like kind of stare you back and like question whether or not like why you couldn't open the stairs or why they couldn't open the stairs. The person who just knew you were joking would just walk by, and then the person who like just got really mad at you, like why, like, and just yell at you for not opening the stairs, and then I got to play with that person. I'm like, all right, cool.
You ever had anyone break down crying like, "I want the stairs"?
I did have a girl.
Oh no!
Wow. I was like,
there was this girl. She was crying. She came to sign a guest out, and then I was like, all right, cool. And then she was like, "Oh, I don't have my card on me. Can I go up?" I'm like, "I'm not supposed to let you up." And then she cried. Because she had to,
Wow.
she had to call her roommate and like come bring my Carolina card down. I'm like, Joko, like I'm sorry, but I can't just let you walk into the building.
Yeah.
Without swiping in, and then she got really mad and cried. And I was like, idiot.
They take it very
Did
seriously.
you say that? You said idiot?
No.
She's crying there.
If you did though, she never would have forgot it. Never again. She'd be like, "Oh man." Remember
I felt
that
really
one
bad
time
though
that
because
you
the
called me
next
an idiot?"
week I was back working and she walked by and she was wearing an Alabama shirt and I was like, oh dang,
It's one of you.
it's one of us, one of my people.
Like, oh, if I known, I would have just like,
yeah, and then I
immediately,
was like, yeah, if you just let me know, I would have let you up.
So the atmosphere of 5 Points, I found out, is contagious as well, because it's not extended to just college students. It catches everybody, like full-grown adults. So like when I was, I worked at a hotel in downtown for 3 months, and it was supposed to be longer than that. Like I was planning on working there for a while because it was like a good gig.
Okay.
And I was working the front desk there. I met a lot of people, like people, just traveling or whatever.
This is the hotel with the dude.
Yeah, it was the hotel dude with the story I can't tell. But
you
no,
you can't tell.
I can't tell that story. But it was cool, like working the front desk or whatever. Like I met a lot of people. The Jimmy John's that's in the Vista, I know the owner of it, and he gave me like free sandwiches when he would stay with us.
Nice.
So this one night, this woman comes in and she was like touring like Colombia, or she was like visiting or something like that. And she like flirted with me from like the second she got in. She was like, "Hey, so like what time you get off work?" And I'm like, "I get off at 11." She's like, "Oh, but I'm like trying to do stuff around 8." And I'm like, "Oh, what a shame." And so like she asked me, she's like, "What is there to do around here?" And I'm like, like, so the disciple in me is like, stay home. But like the the front desk employee in me is like, so most people like either hang out in like the Vista or 5 Points. Or if you're a nature person like I am, I like to go down to the river, to the Gervais River walk. And she was like, she's like, where's the better drinking? And I'm like, from what I understand, 5 Points is probably the best spot.
It's better drinking because it's closer to USC, which means all the students go there, and so they have more bars. The Vista is a lot more.
I think it's classier.
Yeah, the Vista is for a lot more older people. You get a lot more, families. Not families, but you get a lot more of the
not college students.
Not college students. Yeah, the couple
you can get
that
drunk in class.
Yeah, the couple that the couple that their parents come and babysit their children while they go out and hang out for a night.
You get drunk on wine in the Vista.
Yeah, you go to the Vista to eat and hang out. You go to the 5 Points. The 5 Points. You go to 5 Points to get smashed.
So I was like, from what I understand, 5 Points is better, but you'd probably be better served going to the Vista. And she was like, okay, haha. And so like she goes up to her room, she checks in, and then she gets like that going out dressed up, the short skirt, everything like that, whatever.
That's what I wear, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Stupid.
You laugh, though.
So I see her walk out, and I'm like, that's a shame. Like I often have those moments where I'm like, man, like I just wish everyone on this planet was a disciple. Like I really do. Because I can't stop her.
You're headed down a dark path.
Yeah. It's like I see the vision in my head of her walking down the broad path, like out the front door. And so like I get a call, man, I want to say it was like, so like I got off work at like 11. So like my shift was from 3 to 11. I get a call, and it said, "Hey, is this the so-and-so hotel?" And I'm like, "Yes, it is." And they're like, "Do you have a so-and-so that's a guest over there?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do." And I remembered it was the flirty woman or whatever who they're asking for. I'm like, "Yes, I do." And they're like, "Well, this is the so-and-so hotel. We're like a block away from you." And she's up here thinking that she's trying to check into a room over here. And we were trying to find the hotel that she actually does have a reservation at. And so we called you guys. We're going to send her taxi over there. And so she drove over to, apparently she had driven up there. I guess she ended up walking down to our hotel because it was like a block away.
Okay.
And so she walked in and like, I could tell, like, the second she walked through the door that this joker was smashed. Like, she was wearing high heels and, like, doing the lean and, like, the tripping over your feet, like, walking on the side of your feet, like the Kyrie Irving kind of, like, how when he'll, like, cross, like, you walk on the side of your feet, like.
I like how you're demonstrating that with your feet right now.
Yeah, on the table, for those of you that can't see. Like, she's just. And she comes up to the table and she does that, or to the front desk and.
She leans on her elbows, yep.
And, like, does the.
I get that a lot.
That was a. So that was a good recommendation. You're good at your job. I'm like, thank you, and I'm like, I'm like, have a good night. I'm like, this is one of those people, like, I'm just like, please just get out of my face, like, go sleep off being drunk. But it catches really quickly.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a real shame.
The best story I have of drunk people from desk, it was last semester. And I was working late at CAT, this is a great story. It was late, and I was like not doing homework because like I took like when I originally got the job I was like it's easy money, like I'm not going to be doing anything during like my day anyways, like they'll essentially pay me to just do homework, but I never do homework at desk.
Of course.
So I was watching football. I think it was like, I don't remember. I think it was an Alabama game. I'm pretty sure it was the Alabama-LSU game, but I'm watching football on my laptop. Every now and then other like students are like hanging out at the desk watching it with me, but then they'll move on. And then at about 10 o'clock, these two women walk in and they're like, hey, we can't get in. Like one of the women walked up to the desk. She's like, I can't get in touch with my son. I'm like, that's great. What do you want me to do? Like, both of these girls are clearly drunk. We're gonna call one mom.
These are college students.
No, these are adults. It was family.
I know. I thought it was like you can tell they're drunk if they're a college student.
Yeah.
Like,
They're both adults. We're gonna call one mom and one unknown woman number 2. I never found out.
Why is one mom and one unknown woman?
Well, okay, because I can't
give the credits list.
So
I
couldn't find out. I first of all wasn't gonna ask because I personally don't care. But like I couldn't find out if this was a friend of the family, if this was a friend of mom, if this was mom's lover. Like I couldn't figure out who this girl was.
Right.
Like, but there's 2 girls. They're probably about 39-ish. So these are women. These are women.
Yeah.
Sorry, women. So they come up and they're like we can't find. One is like we can't find my son, and the other's like we've been trying to call him for like hours, and like we can't find him.
Right.
And I'm like I don't know what to do. Like I'm sorry, I can't go up and let him in.
Was this somebody that lived in?
Yeah, it's someone who lives in Cap. Like, I can't let you into his room. Like, you just gotta call him. They're like, yeah, but, like, he missed the reservation to, like, eat dinner with us. Like, they were very mad because, like, it was family weekend. They had flown in from Kentucky to come down and visit him and his sister. And neither one of these jokers, him and his sister, showed up for dinner. Like, both of them just, like, they had reservations for dinner, and both of them just went to the game, got drunk, and then just didn't show up for dinner. Like mom and other women had dinner and got drunk by themselves. They were very upset. They were like, we could be going to Kentucky we could be going to Texas to watch Kentucky play. This was the Texas A&M Kentucky week because they were also really upset that Kentucky lost because it was the first time they lost. So they're so like very upset. I can't let them in. They're now upset at me. They send all like every time a student walks by, they're like, hey, go to do you know this kid? They're like, yeah, go to his room, knock on his door, see if he's in there. Like, they're like, should we call the cops? Whatever.
Could you call the RM that this dude?
I did. Like, I texted Josh. Josh was on duty. I'm like, bro, like, you gotta come help me out. No, it's not on his floor. He was just on duty that night. So I'm like, Josh, like, you gotta come help me out. I don't know what to do with these women. They won't leave. He goes, all right, I'm on my way. Got to take care of this other situation first because it's family weekend. Everyone gets drunk.
Yeah, of course.
It's family weekend. Everyone gets drunk.
While I'm waiting,
more incentive. Like they can get drunk with you.
While I'm waiting for Josh, the daughter shows up. Like she walks in. She's like her dorm is like at Preston or something. They had first gone to her dorm and like banged on her door. She didn't answer. So then they came over here. She shows up. They start yelling at her in the lobby. I'm like, guys, please go somewhere else.
That would have been delicious. I'd have like filmed that.
It was great.
That would have been delicious.
That's good. That's
It
good
was-
content. I'm a journalism major. Like
It was-
when you have something funny.
It was
you tell
something
me.
else. So they start yelling at her. Then they like, all right, you're good. Like you're not like the guy who like just didn't show up. Like we don't know if he's dead or not. I'm like, okay, he's not dead. I'm gonna ask y'all where like so. Let me do this first. So the students come back. Yeah, his lights are closed. The door's locked. He didn't answer the door. Josh comes down. He talks to them. He and one of the other arms goes up, knocks on the door. They come back. Like the door's locked.
Were they not able to go like in his room?
They can't go into they can't go into a locked door. They have a key, but they cannot go into it unless the cops are there.
Okay.
So they're like, the door's locked. He's not answering. We don't know if anyone's in there. We'll call the cops so we can go in, and we'll call our boss, who then showed up. So this is going on for a while. He shows up. They're like, we'll call the cops so that we can go into the room, and we'll see if he's in there. I'm gonna ask you a question. Where's this kid?
I'm gonna go with either sitting outside, like on the bricks, or
He's asleep.
He's asleep in the room. This Joker's been drinking since like 10 a.m. in the morning, and he's asleep in the room. Like 500 people have now banged on his door, and he's just asleep in the room. So they call.
he can't wake up.
They call him, and like he
Names go
doesn't.
off.
They call him. He doesn't answer. The head RM gets on the. He finally gets the cops on the phone, and then this dude just walks into the lobby. It was so funny. He walks into the lobby to sign out a guest. Like, he's not alone in the room. He had another brother, like a fraternity brother with him. They were both asleep. So he walks in to sign the dude out. They shake hands. He looks over at the women who have now seen him, and he goes, free. And he turns around and tries to walk back into the dorm. But he starts trying to slide into the dorm, and he's sliding with a credit card. So he's like, why won't my card work? I'm like, dude, like, I look at him and I'm like, dude, you're not using...
Trying to bribe his way in.
You're using a credit card. He then looks at the credit card. I don't know this is the dude we're looking for at this point, all right? All I know is that this dude is very drunk and trying to swipe in with a credit card. I didn't see him walk out the dorm. I think he's trying to break in. I'm like, brother, what are you doing? Like, I'm sorry, I can't let you up.
Can he help you?
He then looks at the card, looks down, puts it in his pocket, turns around and just head down, just walks over to where his mom is. And for the next 20 minutes, like, he starts getting yelled at by this woman who's like, again, like, we could have gone to Texas to watch Kentucky play football. We could have done all kinds of things. Like, you suck. And he then gets defensive and like, I'm sorry, like, I was asleep. I'm like, what do you want from me? You know, they go, how about you don't get drunk when your parents are in town? I'm like, thank you, but then again, you're also drunk, so like, you don't really have a more high ground here. So they start yelling. Then they start yelling at Josh and the other RMs. They're like, yeah, like, thanks a lot too, guys. Like, y'all care more about like rules and like your own self than student safety. What if he was dying in the room? I'm like, he's not dying in the room. He's asleep.
This is also when it's a good idea to film this, because then if they get in like a legal issue with like Josh or something like that,
they're yelling at everybody because
They're drunk.
They're yelling at everyone because here's the thing.
Yeah.
Josh and the Alex is the other room. They're smart. Like, they know the kids in the room, but they can't tell the parents the kids are in the room, like, legally or something. So like, after they go to check the room, they come down and they have this secret meeting with the other like head RM. And the woman, like, they look at this meeting like, hey, tell us what you know. They're like, we can't tell you what we know. They're like, and then they start yelling at them. So like, they're yelling at everybody. This ends with the dude's like, I'm really sorry, like, we have plans. It's 7:30. He's like, I'm really sorry, like, we have plans tomorrow. I'll make sure we have those plans tomorrow. They're like, no, we don't have plans tomorrow anymore. We were at dinner by ourselves and thought y'all didn't love us, so we changed our plans, bought a blue plane ticket, and we're leaving tomorrow morning. Like, bump y'all. And they just leave their kids just standing in the lobby. I'm like, what? What just happened? Like, y'all yelled at each other for like an hour and a half, and then at the end of this conversation, both the women just decide, we don't want to talk to you anymore, and we're leaving town, bye, and just walk out. And I was like, what? Yeah, that was the best story I've had.
And then they missed their flight, right?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
You didn't follow up with it?
But I didn't follow up with it. I don't have that kind of time.
of course they wanted to get on a flight. You get drunk faster on that. On a plane.
Yeah, they had like, it was wild. I was like, after watching these two kids get yelled at for an hour and a half because they got drunk by themselves without their parents and then missed dinner with their parents so they could again get drunk. I was like, I was like, people are crazy.
Yeah, I have a story with a drunk roommate. It's not quite as entertaining, but last year.
Wait, no.
No. That was this year. This is the
no.
last year's story. Yeah, no. Last year I had 2 randomly assigned roommates and one I selected, but 2 of them, they both wanted to join a fraternity and they were over there a lot and they were like at bars getting drunk and whatever. Well, one Sunday I get up to go to church and I'm about to leave. Wade's actually going to take me to church in this story, but I see some interesting things, some things out of place in the apartment. In this like central kitchen area, and so I walk out and I'm like, why are there ramen noodles in a bowl? But they're not cooked. It's just a block of dry ramen noodles.
That's what they would do.
And then I look over and the cabinet's open and there's just sugar cubes like all over the counter, and I'm like,
Okay.
guess someone wanted to cook some sugary ramen noodles and just forgot or something. I don't know. So I'm like, that's kind of weird. Like someone was drunk or whatever. So I leave. I come back. My other roommate's like, okay, I don't know who did this, but it wasn't me because I was back before like whatever time, and I went up and we're like, it's probably. So sorry. Anyway, this is a fake name. No, I'm just kidding. No. We go up, and so later he's like, oh yeah, sorry man, that was me. I completely forgot everything I did. I don't know what happened. And I was like, okay. So he was like, I'm gonna clean it up. It's
just all over the place.
Yeah. Will was telling me about one night he and Josh were on duty, and they were making rounds throughout the dorm, and they were on one floor, and they heard on the floor above them just this loud music, and like a bunch of people screaming, like not screaming as in like they're scared, but like having a party. So like they're clearly like someone's having a party on the floor above us.
Clearly.
And so they go up and they walk out onto the floor, and the whole floor is just, all the doors are open, everyone's running around like having a party on the floor. They see Will and Josh walk up and they're like, RMs, quick! And then everyone just runs to their door and just like slams the door shut. Like half the people get away before Josh and Will catch them, and like if they can't prove you were there, something along the lines. They're like, whatever. So what had happened is there's this girl who it was her 21st birthday, and for her 21st birthday, her parents had mailed her a really expensive bottle of vodka. And she was sharing with all the other people on the floor who also had brought like beer and everything. And so like they're partying in the study room, and Josh and Will walk into the study room and see like people dancing on tables and stuff. But because like it takes a while to get to the study room on the floor, they had been able to hide all the alcohol before Will and Josh got there. So they're like, all right, guys, like, we can tell there's alcohol here. We can't prove it, though. So just, like, get rid of it. Stop having a party. Like, we're not going to write we're not going to write anyone up right now. Like, don't worry.
Kids.
Don't worry. Like, all we got right now is just a bunch of people, like, being loud after it's time to not be loud. Because it's, like, 4 a.m. So they're like, we're not going to write anyone up. Just be smart. Don't do anything stupid. So they leave. About 20 minutes later, they're hanging out in Will's room, and they hear the party start back up again. So they're like, what the heck? So this time they sneak in, and they're able to catch everyone just dancing around with alcohol. So Will said it was the saddest thing he ever had to do in his life, as this girl's crying about losing her bottle of vodka as he's pouring it down the sink. Because he can't drink it. Like, what is he going to do with it? So he has to pour all the alcohol down the sink while this girl's like complaining about how that's her special birthday alcohol. He goes, "You were an idiot." Yeah.
I can see him in defiance doing that, like staring her in the face, like while he poured it
I'm
out.
sorry. I swear.
You're gonna learn from this.
Just a fun fact.
Yes.
Like most college and universities, I'd assume, have it where like in the dorm you aren't allowed to have alcohol, but of course, like most college students, like this kind of happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You said it kind of like it happens.
I mean, it's like most colleges and universities, I would hope, at least have some sort of rule of don't bring alcohol, especially as a freshman, into a dorm.
USC, the only people that are allowed to have alcohol on campus are RMs, and only if they're over 21.
Yeah. So one of the cool things that I loved about my RM my freshman year was so I lived in McBride, which is an all guys dorm. So like it's the only I'm a McBro. So like,
Imagine the basic college dorm, and you've got McBride. It's funny because all the
but it's
other.
the thing is, it's the only guys' dorm.
Well, I was
on
talking about like
campus.
setup, like showers, like
Oh,
big bathroom in the hall. Like
community
all the
showers.
other dorms at USC, like a lot of them are like actual like honors cap, like they're suite style. So you have a room and
Yeah.
then you have like a shared bathroom between a couple of rooms.
This is a dorm.
Yeah,
like it is a
McBride's-
hallway.
McBride's
it is
a dorm.
Yeah, it is a hallway with like it is a straight shot hallway with rooms on either side, and you have community showers and toilets on both ends of the hallway.
Which are really fun, especially when people are trying to have showers with other people while you're just trying to take a shower. You're like, all right,
Nope.
please just get out of the bathroom.
We had a guy that would dip spit in the shower. And so like there were 3 of them that were side by side, and it was slanted like to one drain in the middle, and so the dip was always in the middle shower, so nobody ever showered in the middle shower. Anyways, so one of the things I loved about it my freshman year was the dip spit. It was me. No, my RM was like this dude who I don't know if you guys know who Maurice Jones-Drew is, but he looked exactly like him. He's like 5'4", but built like a tank. Like this Joker is like
it's a running back,
huge. Right? Yeah, he's like unbelievably muscular, and we used to make fun of him. We'd be like, "Hey," or cut that. "Hey, so and so. Hey, so and so. Looking kind of small. Chest looking a little small there, man. Might need to do a couple push-ups." And that Joker would just F you and walk away from us. But like the first week, we had like that hall meeting that every freshman has to have or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Listen, I'm about to be the best RM ever." And we're all like, "Oh?" And he's like, "So listen, here's how it's going to go. On my hall, you will not have alcohol, you will not have women, and you will not have drugs. Period. Like that will not happen on my hall." But he's like, "I know all the great places to go drink. You can talk to me about it. I know people that deal drugs. If you want, you can talk to them." And he's like, "I know some women that show good times." And he's like, "I'll be your designated driver. I will bail you out of jail and help you, as long as you pay me back. But like," he's like, "I'll do all this," because like this Joker doesn't drink. He was in a solid dating relationship or whatever. He's like, "I'll do all this, but you keep it off my hall. Mm-hmm. Like you can go be whatever person you want. I'll even help you with it, but like don't do it on my hall." And we didn't have any problems. Like I think there was probably like 14 people on that hall, and it's funny because the only person who was any trouble was Kurt's roommate. Like that Joker would come back drunk every now and again. But like out of 14 people, only have one person that was like a serious problem. Like
Yeah.
I was like, that is well done, especially when it's all dudes. Like
Yes.
no restriction whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I think the entire hallway of South Quad I lived on smoked weed.
the whole hall.
Like the whole hall, yeah. It was great. It smelled wonderful.
I say you must have had natural air fresheners.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
was that
cannabis.
you lived in? Was that the year that you lived in South Quad? Was that the year where the fire alarm was set off multiple times because of all the smoke?
Oh my god. Yes.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
once
You
though.
were in Columbia Hall, right?
No, South Quad.
Oh, you were in South Quad? Really?
Mhm.
I thought you were in Columbia Hall freshman year. Why did I think that?
I don't know.
Anyways.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, you were in South Quad.
Yes, I was in South Quad. One of the times, I had the windows open because of the weed smell in the dorm, and I was like, but that, again, the fire alarm kept going off at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., whatever. So it went off, and I slept through it, kind of. It woke me up gently like an alarm, and I was like, "What's going on?" It's like, "Oh, the fire alarm's going off. I should probably get up." But before that, I remember waking up freaked out, "What's happening? The world's ending!" I just hear this piercing shriek in my ears,
Yep.
and I'm like, "I'm gonna die." Mm-hmm. But no, having the window open to avoid weed smell helped make the fire alarm much more bearable.
Of course. The fire alarms here are the worst. It's funny because they'll tell you, "We have a drill coming, and I'm sorry, but it's going to be at 3 a.m. And it's like,
Why?
why not just do it
They tell you guys?
they told us in McBride.
Okay. Of all the
So
places,
because we
that's
could
the only place. That's
They
the
told
only place that they've ever told anybody that there's. a
Yeah,
fire alarm.
our RM would come up and be like, hey, yeah, we're gonna have a fire drill, so just be ready. So like for us, like knowing that it's gonna be like 3-4 a.m. when that happens, like we would go to bed. Like I would go to bed early. That way I didn't get like
just
blasted in the middle of the
stay
night.
up.
I had multiple times where I was like, I wonder what would happen if I just stayed in my room, if I would get in trouble.
Yeah,
listen. If
I know it's a drill.
someone comes to my dorm and says, "Hey, we're having a fire alarm at 3 a.m. Just to let you be prepared," I'm like, "Bet I'm gonna do some studying before then." Like, it's not worth going to sleep before that because we all know I'm not going to sleep before midnight anyways. Because
that's like 6 hours I can get. Back then, I didn't stay up till like midnight. 1
first of all,
like I do now.
I'm a good student. If they come in and say there's a fire alarm at 3 a.m., I'm like, bet I'm gonna stay up till 3 a.m. doing homework, and then after the fire alarm, I'm gonna go to sleep and just sleep through my classes the next day.
Like bet sleep somewhere else for tonight, anywhere else.
Yeah, or go sleep at another person's dorm at another place.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, but yeah, that's pretty much all we got for this week. Pretty low cast. Hopefully, enjoyable episode. I think we talked about a lot of good things.
Moral of this story: take out your trash. Look when you're running around corners.
And be smart when you're drinking.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
I'm not gonna tell you don't drink. I drink occasionally, but like be smart.
Just have somebody with you.
Yeah,
please.
But
get a designated driver.
Yeah, we'll be back.
We'll be back.
We'll be back next week. Same time, different cast as usual, except for me. Ha, bet.
And me.
I'll be here.
Yeah, we'll be back same time, different cast.
Love you.
Bye, internet.